I was trying to get
behind.
Are you kidding me? That's how that ends.
Doesn't end here. You know why? I've seen Jordan do this. Not 1,000 times, but a couple hundred.
Right side.
The
Really?
ballsy challenge. He's gonna have to get pushed out. You can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's my new favorite setup, Zach.
He's right. Yeah. Oh my poor guy.
Sorry,
Lost,
buddy.
Bro. Give that guy a map.
I think they're both up there. Like,
You sound. You have porta potties. That guy's
Or
nice.
that
You know porta potties weak.
Yep.
Nice knocks. Nice knocks.
finish. Oh,
1v1?
Jordan.
Yep. He's on that car. You saw him.
This one? Yep.
Yeah. Let's go, Jordan.
Look at him. Little guppy boy.
And he seals the deal, baby. Let's go.
So, a new season is here for Warzone, but does that mean that we have a new list of weapons that will reign supreme? How many of them have carried over that are still the top weapons in Warzone, and how many may have actually changed, come up into that list, or maybe dropped off? Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 weapons and loadouts you should be using within Warzone here within Season 2 to maximize your performance and to have the best gameplay possible. So, as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. What's your favorite weapon within Warzone as of right now, and how many of these top 10 weapons do you agree with, maybe disagree with? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know. As well, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, do be sure that subscribe button. We're on the road to 400,000 subscribers, and we'll keep you up to date with all things Warzone, Cold War, and anything COD related. So if you're interested in joining the community, I'd love to have you. And finally, my friends over at G Fuel bumped up code ESPRESSO to 30% off in celebration of Season 2's launch. So if you guys want to check out any starter packs, refresh any tubs, whatever it is, links in the description below for 30% off. But so let's jump into the loadouts at hand. Let's start out with some of the top dogs on this list. A lot of this isn't going to be in sequential 1 to 10 format or anything like that, but there are a couple of weapons that I definitely think reign supreme, and that first one being the CR56 AMAX. As of the last couple of seasons, all reliable. The AMAX takes the power of a 7.62 weapon and boasts a nice damage profile, but it's a weapon that may take a little bit of a time to truly master. It's something that has a not so forgiving recoil pattern and a fire rate that isn't the best in class. Can you manage those things? Absolutely. Some user end and also some just coming down to class build. So for the class build, I end up running the monolithic suppressor, the XRK Zodiac barrel, the VLK 3x optic, Merc or Commando foregrip, and the 45 round mag. Now for that monolithic suppressor, that offers sound suppression and damage range, and if you've been on the channel at all since Warzone has dropped, you've seen any loadout video, you know this is absolutely a must-have that we run on every single Modern Warfare weapon without fail. There's not many weapon attachments I'd make sure I drop another attachment for. That's one of them though. The XRK Zodiac S440 barrel offers damage range and bullet velocity, as well as the natural weight of the barrel adds some added recoil control as well. This is the best option for barrels. There's not many of the AMAX options, but when it's the only one that adds range and bullet velocity, it's again another no-brainer. As for the Merc or Commando foregrip, I go back and forth between these two. The Merc offers recoil control and hipfire accuracy, but has a slower ADS speed. The Commando, though, offers recoil stabilization and aiming stability with a quicker ADS speed, but overall a slower movement speed. Both help tremendously. It's just a matter of what you want, either a quick gun up or movement speed weapon. Then I also run the 45 round mag because ammo is crucial, with that being the max amount that the AMAX offers. It's again a no-brainer. And then the VLK 3x optic. I'm just not a huge fan of the iron sights, and I'm primarily using this at a distance, so precision is definitely something I'm looking for. As for the next weapon, that is the MAC-10 here at this. That I actually usually run as my secondary to my AMAX. It's my main rushing class at that point, but I end up running the Agency Suppressor, the Ranger or the Task Force barrel, the SAS Combat Stock, the Field Agent Grip, and the Salvo 53 round Fast Mag. Now for the Agency Suppressor, right up front as of recording this, the Agency Suppressor, the Cold War counterpart to the Monolithic Suppressor, is busted on a lot of weapons. The Agency and the GRU suppressors were supposed to do the exact same thing as the Monolithic, and upon the integration of Season 1, they didn't but were fixed to do so. But with Season 2 and the more accurate descriptions that have been added, for whatever reason, the Agency and the GRU suppressors were actually reverted so that they add sound suppression and vertical recoil control, but actually negatively affect the effective damage range, which basically cuts the attachment as a viable counterpart at the knees. It's already been stated that it is going to be reverted once again back to the former glory of also increasing that damage range, but as of the time of recording this, it's not just yet, and there is no ETA on when that could happen. My thinking is that it's sooner rather than later, so who knows? Maybe this goes up right as the fix is made, maybe shortly there before, maybe shortly thereafter, but bear in mind some of these builds in this loadout video will not have the agency or GRU because of that reason. But if it is fixed by that point, absolutely put it on. For the MAC-10 though in particular, I'm using this for close quarters play, so I'm not challenging mid or long range gunfights with it. So in all actuality, the nerf to the agency in this instance doesn't really do much to penalize the build, since it's not attempting to maximize on that range, just sound suppression and recoil control in the case of pre-revert. The 5.3 inch Ranger or 5.9 inch Task Force barrel, again, this one is another case that both work well. The Ranger offers additional bullet velocity, which will help you if you have to challenge something past close quarters, while only sacrificing aim walking movement speed, but the Task Force also offers effective damage range, bullet velocity, and strafing speed for the trade-off of vertical recoil control and horizontal recoil control. So it's really all about where you want to take your engagements. As for the SAS combat stock, that offers ADS firing move speed, aim walking movement speed, and a sprint to fire time increase for the slight penalty in hip fire accuracy. Now the Raider stock is also a solid choice, but you'll notice a slight difference in hip fire penalty between the two, Raider penalizing you just a tad more, but while offering similar attributes, I go with that SAS combat stock. The Field Agent foregrip offers vertical and horizontal recoil control. That to me is a no-brainer. It makes this a laser pointer. And then the 53 round mag, because ammo is very important. As for the AUG, the third weapon here up on deck, this I'm going to actually be running firstly the Flashguard 5.56. And again, this is that first instance of where we'll see a temporary usage in a different attachment. Once again, if the agency is fixed to where it offers sound suppression and damage range as of the time this video goes live, or when you see this, use that 100% over that. But for the time being, since it does not, in place of that, I've tossed on a Flashguard to provide vertical recoil control and aiming stability for no negative trade-offs. The barrels, this is actually kind of where it gets tricky, because there's a few that are solid, but some have hidden stat effects that may cause you to go one way or the other with your choice. One of the top barrel choices when you look at it is the Cavalry barrel, offering up effective damage range, bullet velocity, and strafe speed for some recoil penalties. But to me, the Strike Team is actually better, and when broken down, it does have some hidden effects to it. The Strike Team claims that it only offers a fire rate adjustment, which it does boost the rate of fire by almost 10%, but what it also does is not listed is increase the bullet velocity, in which it increases that by almost 50%, making this actually the fastest bullet velocity barrel on the AUG. It also claims to have a negative effect on the damage range, but when playing with the AUG, the drop-off is never actually truly trailing off to zero. It just hits a static number, so over a distance, you're just going to have to always put the same amount of shots into a player. And for the most part, the engagements you'll be taking with the AUG, that bullet velocity absolutely compensates entirely. Then I run the Axial Arms 3x scope. The iron sights just aren't great, and I'd prefer precision for this as well. I'm using it as my mid to long range weapon, and then the Field Agent foregrip for that added control on the vertical and horizontal recoil. And finally, that build has the 45 round speed mag. I don't burn through ammo as much as you'd think on this, and when you have a much slower ADS time as a result of the 54 round mag, those 3 extra bursts aren't really quite worth it in my books. Next weapon is actually a newer weapon here with this. It's probably the only one of the 2 new weapons that I'll include here. I'd say that the Farah is kind of right on the borderline there. It's good, but I don't know if it crosses over into my top 10. It's kind of like a cross between the FFAR and the Krig, though for the engagements that you want to be using it for, I'd take the FFAR over it. So the Farah may be out of the question in my books, but the LC-10 actually fits a nice little niche here in the SMG category. For this, I end up running the Agency Suppressor, the Ranger or the Task Force barrel, the Raider stock, the Field Agent foregrip, and the 55 round mag. Now, the Agency and the Ranger and Task Force we've already talked about with the MAC-10 here, so those differences you may understand now at this point. The Raider stock, though, I actually opted to go for the sort of faster moving of the two between the SAS or the Raider here for this. So that, it just gives me a little bit more mobility in terms of how I can approach gunfights in close quarters, but it's all entirely preference based. Field Agent foregrip, again, offering vertical and horizontal recoil control, and the 55 round mag, I opted out of the fast mag option here for this, just for those extra couple of rounds, because in a couple of gunfights it did get close, so I wanted to make sure that I had as much as possible to work with it. Plus, a lot of the times I'm not really challenging gunfights fights that I cannot win in terms of being outnumbered. So for that, it works out in my favor that I don't need a specifically fast reload attachment. The next weapon is that of the M16 here, and this one's an interesting one. Very similar to the AUG, both very much so going hand in hand in terms of how they work out, though the AUG, I think, slightly edges out the M16 personally, but could be a matter of preference here. But for this, I end up running normally the agency silencer again. That right now is not where it should be, but hopefully it is back to where it is soon. The strike team, for those added benefits that, like we talked about with the AUG, actually does help the bullet velocity as well as the fire rate. The axial arms 3x scope is what I use here for added precision. That field agent foregrip offering up just some horizontal and vertical recoil control, and then the 45 round speed mag again, just like the AUG. I'd end up running this because I don't necessarily need that full 60 to get the job done, and also that additional penalty to the ADS time is something that I don't really want to work around. Next, we have the FFAR, which is one that, of course, you've probably seen here on the channel quite a bit, but again, coming down to it, that agency suppressor right now isn't actually worth it. If this changes, absolutely change out some of the build here with this. But for this, we end up running the 21.2-inch Ranger barrel, the steady aim laser, the Raider stock, the Salvo 50 round fast mag, and the SFOD speed grip. Now, the Ranger offers bullet velocity, which is absolutely something you want for the FFAR, getting those shots across as quick as possible. That steady aim laser offers hip fire accuracy, and we're really only doing this again because we have a free attachment slot, given that the agency suppressor isn't working as intended. Once that goes back to normal, trade out that laser for the agency suppressor. Then we have the Raider stock because we like that ADS firing move speed, aiming walking movement speed, and sprints at fire time, all for the sacrifice in the hip fire accuracy, which we gain a little bit back right now in that steady aim laser. The 50 round mag gives us just as much ammo as fast as possible, and then the SFOD speed grip offers sprinting move speed as well as horizontal recoil control for the slight penalty in movement speed, which if you play on auto attack sprints, you won't really notice much of a difference at all. Normally, I'll actually end up running this overkilled with my Car 98K, so let's just talk about that build as well. For this, we have the monolithic suppressor, the Syngard custom 27.6-inch barrel, the tac laser, the sniper scope, and either sleight of hand or that of the F-Tac Sport stock for some quicker ADS speed. For that car build, you're really just trying to maximize as much of the ADS speed as you possibly can. You're making this a quick-to-fire sniper rifle so that if you are accurate, you're going to absolutely pop enemies left, right, and center. The next two weapons that I've been playing around with a little bit here are some blasts from the past, perhaps. That being, firstly, the MP5 from Modern Warfare. Now, I talked about this earlier in the year about how the Cold War MP5 was better in a couple of attributes than the MP5 from Modern Warfare, but at the same time, when you're talking about movement, something you really want to maximize within Warzone, the MP5 from Modern Warfare still holds that little bit of an edge out on the Cold War MP5. For this, though, I'd end up running the monolithic integral suppressor, the tac laser, the Merc foregrip, the 45 round mag, and the stippled grip tape. The monolithic integral suppressor gives you a nice little 2-for-1 here, in which you end up getting a 2-for-1 attachment deal here where you increase the bullet velocity but also get that sound suppression. The tac laser gives you that additional aim down sight and stability as well as aiming walking steadiness. The Merc foregrip gives you that recoil control and hip fire accuracy, and the stippled grip tape again adding to that aim down sight and sprint to fire time. The ammunition, no brainer there, that one. The next weapon, the M4A1's actually making a comeback in terms of the meta here with this. For that, I'd recommend the build of the monolithic suppressor, the Corvus Custom Marksman, or that of the M16 Grenadier barrel. Personally, I prefer the Corvus Custom over that, but then the VLK 3x optic for a little bit more precision here. You don't necessarily need it. The iron sights on the M4 aren't bad, but for longer range gunfights, you may want that. The Commando foregrip helps out, and the 60 round mag is what I'd finish that off with. Again, interesting that it's coming back, but definitely making some waves in the recent meta. So try that out if you guys want to. And finally, the AS Val is a weapon that is still up there as a contender here, probably just outside on the fringe of the top 10, but just making it. The AS Val is very situational. It's very good in its close TTK, but it's not something that I'd take over at range. And of course, the ammo on offer doesn't allow you to really do that because the most ammo you can get is 30 rounds in a mag, which is not all that great for a rifle. Now, for this, I'd end up running the VLK OSA barrel, the Straylock stock, the Ranger foregrip, the 30 round mags, and the rubberized grip tape. That OSA barrel giving you the damage range and bullet velocity, the Straylock giving you the recoil control, aiming stability, and walking steadiness, the Ranger foregrip giving you that recoil control and aiming stability, the 30 round mag, of course, just giving you as much ammo as possible, and that rubberized grip tape for a little bit more recoil control. So when it comes down to it, this is going to help you shoot an absolute laser beam that is the fastest time to kill of any weapon up close. So as we talked about here in the past, I'd recommend running this kind of like an SMG for close to medium range, and then also overkilling it with, say, a sniper so that you cover all ranges of engagements. But that's where we're at here at this as of Season 2's start. That's my list for the top 10 weapons here and top 10 loadouts for each of those, so you can end up getting the best potential gunplay and gameplay out of your Warzone experience. So that said, that's where we're going to wrap it up. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of this list here? Are you guys agreeing with the majority of this? Maybe not so much. What's your top 10? Let me know down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so it's a single thing regarding all things Warzone, Cold War, and anything COD related. We'll keep you up to date with all of it. So if you're interested, hit that subscribe button. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube. Practically on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. But said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.